All right, let's dive right into a seriously thrilling automotive mystery. What if I told you your car's brain might actually be the ultimate con artist? We usually trust our engine control unit, the ECU, completely blindly, right? Well, today we're going to unpack a fascinating data interpretation error where your vehicle literally gaslights you. We'll break down the exact engineering behind this digital deception, and honestly, it's going to completely change how you look at auto repairs.
Part 1. The terrifying limp mode. Picture this. It's a very real, very dangerous scenario. You're merging onto a fast-moving highway, right? You press down on the gas pedal to accelerate into a gap, and absolutely nothing happens. Your engine just groans, your speed completely plummets, and your car starts crawling along like a wounded animal. In a matter of seconds, you've gone from a smooth, easy commute to basically driving a 2-ton paperweight right in the middle of a busy interstate. You frantically look down at your dashboard and you notice your RPMs are just completely frozen at exactly 1700. Like, stuck. It doesn't even matter if you smash that gas pedal straight through the floorboard, the computer has completely locked you out of the engine's power. It's an artificial ceiling. It's a failsafe that gets triggered to prevent what the car believes is a catastrophic failure. So naturally, you somehow manage to limp the car to the nearest garage. The mechanic plugs in their diagnostic scanner, pulls up these scary-looking fault codes like P2122 and P2127, and delivers a super swift verdict. The sensor is dead. That'll be $300. You know the drill. You see the warning light on the dash, you hear the confident diagnosis from the pro, and you just surrender your wallet. Honestly, this exact scenario plays out thousands of times a day. Part 2. The ECU's gaslighting. But what if I told you that highly precise hardware component didn't actually die at all? To really understand this deception, we first need to define what limp mode actually is. See, it isn't a broken gear. It isn't a snapped belt. It's purely a protective software state. The car is purposefully restricting its own engine power because it detected a critical anomaly. It's shutting down its own capabilities just to save itself. Most mechanics, they see those diagnostic codes and instantly assume the hardware is fried. Done for. But the reality? It's actually a logical trap. Your sensor is more than likely working perfectly fine. Instead, your car's brain, the ECU, is straight up gaslighting you. It's presenting a totally false reality based entirely on a very rigid, flawed interpretation of raw electronic data. Part 3. 0.13 volts, the machine's misunderstanding. To look past those misleading error codes, we really have to examine the cold, hard data. The accelerator pedal sensor, or APS, is the critical link here. It measures exactly how far you press the gas pedal down, and then it translates that physical, mechanical movement into voltage data for the computer. Remember, the ECU doesn't have intuition. It only understands the physical world through these raw numbers. So in a healthy vehicle, the resting state, meaning when your foot is completely off the pedal, sits firmly between 0.7 and 0.8 volts. You can kind of think of this as the car's healthy resting heart rate. But suddenly, the scanner shows that the voltage has collapsed to a smoking gun number, 0.13 volts. That is a total catastrophic collapse of the expected data stream. Now, to the ECU, 0.13 volts isn't just a little low. It completely violates the programmed physical limits. It is exactly like having a thermometer in your living room that suddenly reads minus 200 degrees. The computer doesn't stop to reason with it and say, maybe the window's open, maybe it's drafty. No way. It immediately concludes that the sensor itself is completely broken. The machine is brutally honest, sure, but it's also incredibly narrow-minded. In automotive engineering, to tell the difference between normal electrical signal noise and a fatal error, the ECU is programmed with a hard lower limit. It interprets anything this low, not as physical movement of the pedal, but as a severed wire or a dead short circuit to the ground. So, seeing that 0.13 volts, it issues a digital death sentence and just blindly triggers limp mode. Part 4. The true culprit is the rubber stopper. Okay, so why did the voltage actually crash in the first place? Well, step 1. There's a tiny, decaying 50-cent rubber stopper located right behind your gas pedal that just perishes and crumbles away due to age. Step 2. Without that physical barrier in place, the pedal physically overextends. It pulls back way further than its programmed minimum. And step 3, this excessive physical travel literally drags the sensor's internal voltage down to that impossible 0.13 volts. The sensor never lied. It was just accurately reporting the position of a pedal that moved slightly too far. Part 5. Escaping the diagnostic cartel. Mechanics see these digital ghost codes on their screens and immediately replace the entire $300 sensor assembly. They completely ignore the basic physics of the pedal itself. It's absolute madness, really. You're being charged hundreds of dollars for what is fundamentally a 50-cent deteriorated piece of rubber. It's kind of like prescribing major open heart surgery just because a patient's necktie is tied a little too tight. That massive gap between a 50-cent part and a $300 repair bill, that is essentially a tax on diagnostic ignorance. To prevent this from happening in the real world, you can use a super simple checklist. First, actually physically inspect the pedal assembly before you even plug in the scanner. Second, look for tiny bits of crumpled rubber on the floorboard. And third, check the live voltage data with the pedal resting naturally and compare it to when you physically lift it manually. Please don't throw your hard-earned money into a black hole by treating a simple mechanical symptom like it's some complex electronic disease. So I want to leave you with a final, kind of provocative thought here. Are you driving your car, or are you letting a misinformed digital scanner drive you? Seriously, don't let your ECU gaslight you into an empty wallet. Always question the raw data, find the actual physical truth behind those numbers, and make sure you stay in total control of your machine.